get started. So let's just talk about, first of all, I'm Jeff Harrison.
Hi, Anna Hurley.
Hi, Anna. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for coming today.
Sure.
And Terry. Geez, we're all spread out.
Yeah, I don't
We
like
have
seeing
to
it.
get Candace in the middle here. We have somebody in each section. We want to talk a little bit about Google Hangouts, mainly because it's a great tool, a powerful tool, to be able to communicate with masses of people. How many of you, do you use Google Hangouts now?
No.
No, do you use Google Hangouts?
No, I watch them
Okay.
on YouTube, but I haven't
Okay.
been on.
All right. What do you like about watching them? Like what kind of things are you watching?
The real time conversation interview, like real time.
Okay, good. Good. You ever watch a Google Hangout?
No, I haven't. I've been curious about it, so I'm glad that you're going to be talking about it today, because I'm really not sure what it's about. It kind of coincides, I think, with something else I've been looking into right now, which is a meetup. Meetups?
No.
No?
Two different things. But, yeah, I guess they're new.
Well, I guess you could have a made-up
I
one.
guess you could, but Meetup is a totally different product than Google Hangouts. But
Okay.
Meetup is typically offline,
Right.
okay, and Google Hangouts is 100% online. And think about, this is when we first started getting into Google Hangouts. It's like, geez, you just acquired your own TV station. You didn't have to ask anybody what you can put on it. You didn't have to ask when you could go on as far as going live. You could have any guest you wanted. You could talk about anything you wanted to, and nobody could tell you no. How cool is that?
How expensive
Cool.
is that?
Yeah, now, it is pretty expensive. It's free. You just have to have either a camera on your computer or a camera that you would hook up to your computer, so you have an external camera. And I'll tell you that we'll talk about the type of camera. But it's a pretty simple process. So if you have a computer or a laptop with a camera, you've ever got one of those, okay? Pretty much I guess probably in the last, 3 to 5 years, just about every laptop that's come to market has a camera on there. So, have you ever used your phone, any iPhone users here? Okay, so if you're an iPhone user, have you ever used FaceTime?
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's kind of the same thing, except it takes it up a few levels, because you can have unlimited number of people on, or you can have one person on. Or you can have nobody, but you can be broadcasting. You make it public, you make it private. But what I want to talk about today is just simply a couple things, well, to get started with, and Andrew's going to talk more about the marketing side of it. I'm going to talk about kind of the setup. And first of all, like we said, we need a computer, you need a web camera of some sort, either on your computer or external, and you just need a good internet connection. And even a wireless internet connection would work fine. Like we use hotspots with Verizon and also AT&T, and we're looking for what they call 2 megabits per second upload speed or higher. And if you have that, you're probably going to be okay. In fact, even today our streaming is minimum to be able to stream out in a very low quality is about 650 kilobytes per second, which is just a fraction of what I just said. And so you don't have to have a super strong signal, but you have to have an internet signal. You also have to have a Google account. Now, Google account, Gmail. Does anybody have a Gmail account? Not have a Gmail account? If you don't have a Gmail account, again, it's free. And as soon as you sign up with that, you immediately get several things. You get a Gmail, you get another email account. You also get to hook up on Google+, which is a great platform. It's another social media platform. Similar to Facebook, I think it's more business, if you will. It's somewhere, to me, it's somewhere between Facebook and LinkedIn. It's a little different, but it is a great platform, and it's growing very, very quickly. The other thing you get is you also get a YouTube account, and that's where your actual feed is stored and played. This is important because how many people roughly are on YouTube every day?
I don't know how many millions, a gazillion people, I don't know.
Yeah, a lot though, right? Last month it was actually number 3, just barely, is it 2 or 3? It's 167 million unique visitors visited YouTube last month. That's almost like saying, yeah, it's not quite enough for me. It's almost like, how many of you ever have decided, hey, I'm not going to participate in the lottery because it's only 43 million this week? Right? I mean, I have caught myself going, if it's not 6 figures over a million, I'm not doing it, right? Like, why would you waste your time to win $1 million? I mean, forget about it. right? But this 167 million go there, so you have a great potential audience. Now here's the idea, you basically, oh, by the way, do you have a copy of this, Terry? Here, I'll get you.
I don't use it on you.
Okay, does anyone have that besides me? Sorry about that. I saw the pages.
So you're holding out on us there.
So if we go to step by step, it's create or log into your Google account, and then you go to Google+, okay? And then in the drop-down menu in the upper left hand, you select Hangouts. So there's a little home button, and you would just select Hangouts. And now, the difference is, it says in the upper right-hand portion of the page, select Hangout on Air, okay? And that's a little different. Now, it has changed since I wrote this up, and I'll make one little correction there. If you're going to do something right away, Hangout is okay. If you're going to schedule something in advance, even if it's an hour or two away, select Events. Events. So you might want to make that little correction on your page. Select Events instead of Hangouts.
And that's not under the Drive
Number 3.
tag?
Huh? No,
It's not
no,
under the Drive.
no. It's under Google. Can you?
Or
I'm ready to go.
He's gonna pull this up here, just a page, and we'll show you where that is.
Okay, so instead of selecting Hangouts, you select
Events.
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 Okay.
That's what I got.
Or apps, I meant. I
Okay,
thought
so-
Under apps.
So what he's gonna do is, he's gonna go to his Google.
Let me go back to the start and I'll show you where I'm at. So, this is my Google Hangout. This is my Google Hangout page. On the left hand side is your menu where you want to drive a lot of this stuff. See that drop down there? A lot of this information is all dropped down. So,
Oh, I see.
over here, you can start a Hangout from here, from your own profile. Now, this is a personal profile. It's also like having Facebook. You know, you got Facebook profile and a Facebook page. Well, you can have your personal profile and run Hangouts from your personal profile, or if you don't want to have your personal profile running a Hangout, you can have your business running a Hangout, because often it's a business thing you want to do. In that case, I go to Pages here, and I've created a page, and Google will let you create pages, but I'm the manager of a couple of different pages here, as you can see. So let's just pick this one here. This is my main business page. Once I'm in my page, I know that I'm in my page because up the top here it says, you can see that it says Autopilot, which is our business, and it doesn't say Andrew. Andrew would be my personal profile, but that's my business one. Now over on the left hand side, same sort of thing appears. You've got the drop downs for your business stuff. Okay, so it looks similar, but I know that it's a business page because it says my business up here. And then down the bottom, I'll click on events, and it comes up with all of the events that I've got set, ready for a Hangout to run. So you can see these are my upcoming events right now. I've got a Global Mastermind on tonight. I've got another one on tomorrow, another one on tomorrow. So I'm doing a few. I probably do 2 or 3 a week. But you'll see that they're the events upcoming. So when I'm ready to send people to those,
Andrew, are these events that you have started?
I've created, yeah. What I've done is set it in motion. So let me go back a step and I'll show you when I'm setting up a Hangout. So when you go to set up a Hangout, it comes up here, it says Hangouts on Air. Now currently, all of these ones are live. If you ever wanted to watch a live Hangout right now, I could click on any of these that say live and we'll see people inside the Hangout talking and we could watch it. So this is how people can find you as well. So if you've got some information you want to share with your audience, the general public can find this if it's a shared Hangout that's live to everyone. You can make them private, you can determine who you want to turn up, but in this case, these people here have made all of these public. I'm not going to click on those. But if I want to start a new Hangout on Air, so I'm going to start one. So let's say that I'm creating one, I'm thinking, I don't want to do it now because I'm not ready to do it now, but I want to set one up so then I can market and tell people about it. So let's say, Terry, in your case, you're thinking, you know what, I'm going to invite all the real estate agents from the Valley to come to a Hangout, and I'm going to talk to them about why they should stage their houses and 3 important tips that they really need to know about staging. You know, because they may be getting the wrong staging, they may be doing it all wrong. So I'm going to give that, I'm going to create a Hangout for that so that people can come along and watch what I've got to talk about. So pretty simple, you start a Hangout, and then you give it a name, so you call it something that's relevant. So it might be 3 tips to staging a better house. You tell people what it's about, so a little bit of a description in the bottom section just there. And then you can start it now or later. In this case, you may want to start it later, so you pick the time. Now, you can change the time zone. I mean, I've got mine set to Australian because my computer's still set to that after 8 years of being in this country. I think I'm just going to call that time factor. But you can change the time anytime you like. So, so you set your time, your duration of the hangout, so it can go from anywhere from, in fact, a hangout can be a 3-minute hangout if you want to do a 2-minute hangout. I'll talk about some case studies a little bit later about what people are using them for. But you can set your duration of how long you want that hangout to go. And yes, there are 8-hour hangouts I've seen before.
Wow.
And then the audience is public. Now, if you want it to be public, great. If not, then you can make it, you can invite certain people, you can invite people in your circles, you can invite other different people as well. So pretty much that's how easy it is to set up. So if I was to hit, I'm not gonna create one, but as soon as I've set the time up, I just click on share and it's good to go. And then you have a link for it ready to go. So you might say, okay, I've set it up for next Wednesday night at 6 o'clock. Now I can go out and tell people, here's the link, come and see the hangout, come and join me. So you spend all the next couple of days going out and telling people about that. They'll come along, get on the link, and then they'll be able to watch you live. Watch you live. And then they'll also ask questions too. So you can people can ask questions about what's going on. If you've got some comments that they're not sure about, they can ask you some questions. And you can answer them live.
And then how do your guests show up?
On your front doorstep. No, they just log on to their they log on to their they're going to be on a Gmail account. Although there are ways to get around that. I'll talk a little bit about that later. But if they've got Gmail, they just log on. They go to that link. It opens up just like this would here. If I'm going to cancel, just like this here. I do click on this. I'm going to show you what it looks like. Have a look. If this guy's still running, let's see. But I could say something. See on the comments on the bottom, it says live. So this person is now just having a chat. This is live. We're watching this person live. I could start mucking with them and start asking some really weird questions down the bottom, but I won't. I don't know what this is about. It doesn't tell me. It says, this is the other thing about this is, why would I want to go and join this if I don't even know who Fagan, Beagle and Bonnie are?
Right.
Like what's it telling me about? There's no information about this thing. It tells me it's the Fagan show, but I don't even know what Fagan does. What's his topic? So it's an important thing to think about. If people do stumble upon your hangout, you want to tell them what it's about. Otherwise, they're going to say, "Well, it's just that you missed that opportunity of."
So how do you go about directing traffic towards your hangout?
Well, this is a link up the top. It says very
if there's no subject matter, you know.
See this link up the top here? Well, so there's a link that you can share directly with people. So you can use your other platforms. You can use Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and put that link in your tweets or in your LinkedIn updates or your emails.
Right. So if somebody just out of curiosity was wondering what Hangouts is all about, and they go to Google Hangouts, then how would they find specific subject matter interest?
This is Google. Remember, what's Google famous for? Being a search engine.
Right.
So if I was to do a search up the top here for Fagan and Beagle, I'd probably come across this thing. But how am I going to know to look for that? Where if I'm looking for, let's say I'm looking for what do you call it? What would be the word that I would be looking for you? Is it house?
For home staging?
Home staging. Home staging. That's the word I'm looking for. Home staging. So if I was to type in home staging up the top, then I'm more likely to come across, if Terry wrote 3 home staging tips for your business or for your real estate firm, and the word home staging is there, Google are likely to say, hey, there's a hangout with the word home staging in it, let's give you that result. Because why? Because Google and Hangouts own each other. They're going to want to deliver their own stuff. They want people to stay on their platform rather than her site, which is not on Google at all. Does that make sense?
Kind of, sort of. I was just wondering, is there like a Craigslist type listing of different subject matter that they
filter? You can find more events. Like you can go and look for events here, and then there's filtering processes and that sort of stuff. You can find out what's trending. You can go and look for best odds. You can go and look for all sorts of different things. I mean, Google's got that filtering option to type in. So you can spend all day watching Hangouts if you wanted. Get rid of your cable, save yourself money, and watch some Hangouts.
Yeah, I haven't watched
You'll
TV
see some
in
crappy
years.
Hangouts too, but... Alright, Jeff, I think we're done. Keep going. Keep going.
Okay, so.
You've got
Build
the
it,
notes.
build it.
When
Questions,
you-
anybody?
When you want to have a panel on your
Yes.
Hangout,
Yes.
are you gonna get to that part about how you bring the people up on the bottom of
Oh,
the
okay.
screen?
Sure, I can do that. I can do that now. So what happens with that on that bottom of the screen is when you're on a Hangout. So basically a live Hangout lets you have 10 people, 9 plus you, as guests on video on your Hangout. So let's say that we all decided to do this as a Hangout today. When I'm on the screen, I'm on the big, like this. We just saw the person speak on the screen. They were the main person on the screen. Now, what you may or may not see is, those little icons. You can set up so that every time somebody talks, their face pops up on the big screen.
Right.
So we'd all have our own little icons down the bottom. So we'd all have our little pictures, and then when you're speaking, your face would pop up.
Uh-huh.
Now, if you didn't want that to happen, because sometimes when you've got this many people in a Hangout, there's all sorts of noises going on.
Right.
So you might be sitting there on the bottom of the screen, and I'm talking away, and somebody in your house or whatever slams the
Right.
door, and the microphone picks it up. As soon as it hears that noise, it puts you back up on the front.
Oh.
So when there's all this background noise, sometimes there's all these faces
Yeah.
popping up. It's like, whoa, I'm getting dizzy just trying to keep up with whose face keeps appearing. So what they do is they give you an option to what they call blue box. So if I'm talking, I can just click on me,
Uh-huh.
and it stays up with me, and it ignores all the noise behind it. All right, so you can. So that's what that is. That's all about that. But here's the cool thing with Hangouts is that you don't need to have just 10. You can have up to thousands of people watching your Hangout. They just can't be thousands of people on the video itself. You can have up to 10 on the video. So if you're doing I've seen Hangouts that have they'll let people log in and out of the video. They might have 300 people in the Hangout, and they'll bring on people for questions. So I might be doing a Hangout and say, okay, Terry's got a question. Here's the link, Terry. Log on. Use this link to pop into the Hangout, and you'll pop up, and you can ask your question live, and then you can jump out and let somebody else in as well.
So this might be a little easier. If I'm going to interview one person?
Yep.
How do I set it up?
How do you set it up? Same way. Set up the same Hangout.
So that person has the link. What do they do to
Right.
get on the screen?
Okay, so there's a little trick with that. When you start a Hangout, let me start one up. Would it help if I started one live? Alright. Would it help if I did one live?
Yeah.
Let's have a look. I'm going to start one live. Is that okay, Jeff? Can I start one live? Alright. Test one. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to invite. I'll just invite Heather, who's my business partner, and I'll start now because I don't want to share this. I don't want someone else to.
Right.
You're teaching a class on Hangouts and somebody jump into our Hangout and see me doing nothing.
Right.
So let's call it test 111. I'm going to share that with her. Now I know it's in Australia. It's what,
So you're
1
sharing.
a.m. in the morning, so hopefully she's asleep and she
So
doesn't
you're
accept
sharing it first before you start it.
So basically, all I'm doing is setting this up.
Right.
Now I don't want. Now, she's not the person I want in the Hangout right now. Let's say I'm going to invite you. I
Okay.
want to invite you to this Hangout, okay?
Okay.
So right now, I didn't invite you. I haven't invited you yet to the
Okay.
Hangout.
Okay.
So basically, I'm in my events section. I'm in my events, and this is what it looks like. It says start. So we haven't started the Hangout. Now the cool thing is that you have like a green room. So you actually have the ability to have a pre-room, like a chat to your guest before you actually go live.
Oh, cool.
So you don't, as soon as you hit start, it doesn't mean you're live and you have to be ready because you don't know if the other person's in there yet or
Right,
not.
right,
So they have a green room where you can hang around and say, okay, hey, great, are you ready to go? Any questions? Oh, okay, I'm a bit nervous, I'm not sure about this question. Okay, let's sort that out, and then we're ready to go. So what it says is invite guests. Now, at this point, I don't usually invite guests either. I usually set this up, get myself into the Hangout. I'm going to skip this option, And
Oh, okay.
okay, there I am. So now here's the thing with this. You can see my screen here. I have a couple of options that I can do. Up the top here, I can mute myself. So if I'm talking to people during the Hangout, I can mute. If I want to turn my camera off, I can quickly turn it off. Now this has happened a couple of times. When you've got two kids that are 2 and 4 years old, sometimes you've got to know where the camera and the mute button is real quick. And I had somebody, once I had somebody knocking on my door and they could hear me talking, but they weren't taking note. They kept banging on the door, so I'm like, I turned the camera off to go and answer the door. I forgot my microphone, and as I tripped, I went bang, bang, bang. So everyone could hear me crashing and banging, but they couldn't see what happened. So anyhow, you can turn your mic off, you can turn your camera off. But here's the cool thing. This is the actual link right there. Is where I want to invite you. So if I was to invite you right now, I would basically copy that link and I'll send it to you in an email or Skype or instant message or whatever I want to, however I connect with you. As soon as you get that, you click on that link and it takes you straight inside the Hangout.
So if you sent that to me on my Gmail, I
Yep.
open it up.
Yep.
And
Just click on that and it'll take you in there and say, hey, you're about to join a live call. Are you ready for this? Blah, blah, blah.
so I'm joining it as a guest participant.
Yep, and you'll be on the camera.
Okay.
So when you'll be coming inside the Hangout. Whereas that link I'd only send to people live, but if I was to send to anybody else to just watch it as part of my guests, then I would send them, I'll show you here. On the bottom here, you see this where it says links down the bottom there? If I click on that, it gives me links, gives me event page, a YouTube page and video embed. So what it does is I would send that event link, this one here, to people so that they can join as a guest.
Oh,
No,
yes.
as somebody to watch, yes.
And they have to have a Google account.
They do if you send them that way.
Okay.
Yeah, so is it invitation only, or can anybody just?
Well, if you make it live to the public, then anybody can click on it, like we did with that other one just before. We jumped onto that. We couldn't pop in to their Hangout on camera, but we could sit there and watch it. Now, he doesn't know that we were watching it. He knows that there's somebody watching it. They get a count. Down the bottom here, you'll see viewers. They'll get a count of how many viewers are watching it, but they won't get to see, hey, this was Andrew watching it. So they can't reach out to me later and say, hey, we know that you were watching us. Here, buy my stuff. They don't know that. They just know there was a viewer. All right? Does that make sense? Cool.
Some phones actually already come with the Hangout included.
They do. Exactly right.
Mine hasn't. I didn't know what it was for until now.
Yeah. So Hangouts are available on phones now too. So
Yeah.
if you ever need to watch a Hangout, you can watch it on. But if you ever need to be a guest and you're not home and you're not in front of your computer, you can use your like FaceTime to be on a Hangout. I've done that before when my computer crashed. I had to use the iPad, the Hangout app on the iPad, and I was able to still do the Hangout even though I was driving a car. No, I wasn't driving. I was passing a car. I can't hang out and drive a car. But so you're right. So now it's fully mobile, and the cool thing is that although this is video, it does it so that it's not a massive amount of bandwidth taking up your laptop. You know, like 3 years ago, it would be start video when you're on a mobile device, but now they've done it so that it streams this stuff super fast and really, really easily. So this is the Hangout page. Now, there's a couple of things I want to quickly show you. I'm completely got off track here, but hey,
Sorry.
we didn't have a track anyway, so it's all good. Click on the
And then
link.
I want to ask Jeff about the camera quality.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so here we are in the green. Now, see this big green button down the bottom here? We haven't even started broadcasting yet. Haven't started broadcasting. So when I'm ready, you'll see this is a little picture of me. If I had somebody else, they'd pop up here with their name, and somebody else would pop up here. And we haven't started broadcasting. As soon as I start to broadcast, it'll go, you're now live, and everything you do from that point is recorded. Now, the cool thing about this is that it's recorded so people can watch it live, but as soon as you hit stop broadcast, it goes to your YouTube channel. So you've created content for your YouTube channel as well, and people can watch this in replay again. So if you ever need to create content for your business or you create content for your website, you can actually hit that button, so that we can record some stuff, do an interview with somebody, and maybe just, let's say it's a guest, like let's say it's somebody who owns a staging store, and you want to do a quick interview about what are the 3 things that people want the most when they come in hire staging. It's a quick interview, and it's maybe 5-10 minutes. You can record it, and then it goes on your YouTube channel. Then you can use that on your blog posts, your social media stuff. So it's a great way to start creating content as well.
And can you pause it? It's
No.
either start or stop?
No, it's live.
If you're live, no.
If you're live, you can't pause live. You can't do that. So it's but I know what, the next question you're going to ask me is, what if I make a mistake and what if something happens and I want to get rid of it? Well, the cool thing is you can go into YouTube and edit that video.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, that was the next
Oh,
question.
so
right?
you can keep going. Well,
You
no,
keep
I-
going, you keep going. So people see the mistakes live, but let's say that there were, for some reason, you know, you had
Spilt your
problems.
coffee.
Right, so you go back into YouTube and you can actually edit that piece out.
Got
You
it.
go, okay, I need to cut that piece. And you cut it. It happened to us 2 weeks ago. We for some reason, technology is always fun, but we started the broadcast and then the button disappeared and we couldn't stop it. Like, how do we turn this off? We couldn't turn it off. We had to shut down. It was still recorded for another half an hour after that. It was
Oh my
recording
God.
just nothing. It was like a blank screen, but it went on YouTube. Our show's usually half an hour, and it went for 57 minutes. I'm like, I don't want people to sit there for 27 minutes. Not that they would, watching a black screen. You never know. But they watched 20. It was an hour-long show, so we had to go in and edit that and get rid of it.
While we're here, can you show us how to add the banner to the bottom of your screen,
Oh,
your name?
yeah, okay. So on the side here, there's a number of other options too. So I'll give you a quick rundown of what you can do with this. This here. So up the top here is a chat feature. Oops. It lets you group chat with people inside the group. So let's say we're all inside a group, and I wanted to, and I'm talking about a special link. I can put a link down the bottom. I can put some information down here, or hey, remember to smile, everybody, or let's not talk about that topic, sort of thing. And as soon as I hit enter, it goes up the top and it says me. And if you, what's your name, sorry?
Anna.
Anna. So Anna had a comment for just us. Now this doesn't get seen by everybody else watching. It's just the people inside the Hangout. So you might say, hey, can we steer the conversation towards the topic? You may want to keep us on track, sort of thing. So you can put some comments in there. So that's a little comment section. And now here's the cool thing. This one here is screen share. Now I can go and share my screen. So if I'm doing an educational piece, or let's say I'm doing let's say we've got a PowerPoint presentation. Let's say I wanted to do that PowerPoint presentation for Hangouts. I can now share my my PowerPoint with you all while I'm doing a Hangout. So you get to see my screen, my PowerPoint, rather than see me on camera. So if you don't like being on camera, you can even do an entire Hangout with screen share so that no one sees you anyway.
Oh,
So
that's
it's almost-
that's how a lot of them are done, that's right.
So it's like a webinar. It's almost like doing it exactly like a webinar. Anybody done a webinar before? Anyone been on a webinar before? If you use something like GoToWebinar, you're going to be charged $150 a month for the right just to use the product. This sort of takes all that out of it. And we're saving ourselves now $1,400 a year just by using Google Hangouts, because we can do this sort of stuff. And with the screen share, I can do things like I can share my entire screen, I can share certain aspects or certain tabs on my Firefox or my Google Chrome, and I can even share applications that are open too. So if it's just my PowerPoint, I can just share my PowerPoint, and people don't get to see the rest of my screen as well. So that's screen share, which is pretty cool. On the other side, then we've got Showcase. I've never used Showcase. It's relatively new, but you can showcase links and other websites and stuff like that. Q&A. If you want to install a Q&A app, it lets people ask questions and answers. Once again, I don't use that, and I'll show you how we do that later. The other thing you can do is you can do photo capture. So if you've all got people on a screen, let's say you've got a famous guest or someone you want to use as photos, there's a little camera button down the bottom here, so you can take a photo. So if I click on the take photo button,
Smile.
It's terrible.
That's cool.
And now that can go to that will go to my Google Plus page. Really? That can go to my Google Plus page? Terrible. That shit's normal. So you can take photos. So if you've got guests on there, or you might want to just use it for testimonial. Like, hey, I had this guest on here. This was cool, and you can start taking photos of people, and that can start filling up your social stuff too. You've got other things like cameraman. You can actually control other people when they come on. So you can have different settings for people when they come on. If you're controlling a lot of people on a Hangout at once, I've never used this, never had to, but it just gives you some more ability to actually control the environment that you've got going on. So I won't go through that too much more. Control room lets you change the settings of the sounds and that sort of stuff. So if somebody says, I can't hear you very well, you can actually use this as a control room to up and down the sounds. Hangout Toolbox is an app. A lot of this is all apps, and there's a whole range of things you can actually add. But here's the one you were talking about, Terry. This is lower third, what they call a lower third. So with a lower third, basically you can put whatever you like up the top here. You can change the colours of it. I'm going to just turn that on for the moment. So it's blue right now. I'm going to change the colour and make it whatever colour I want. Turn it off and on. There it is there. Now that's backwards to you, but to everybody else on the other side it's actually right. But if that really confuses you, you can flip it. So you can put your picture there. Now you can save these as well, because if you've got a number of different, let's say you've got a number of different businesses or different ways you want to present yourself, you can go and say, okay, here are my saved ones. Let me go down to this one here. So there's my saved one that I want to use today.
Oh.
So, okay, you know what? Actually, I'm not working for that company today. Today I'm going to be this person. So you can quickly flick it over to, you can have different ones set.
Oh, great.
All right,
and
so
you can add the little logo there by
you can have a logo there as well.
logo.
Yep, yeah, basically by choose logo. And there's a custom overlay. Sometimes you'll see some really interesting ones. I'll show you an example of one in a minute, of what an interesting one looks like. But you can actually have your own design too. You can fully deck it out. This is just a standard one, which looks okay, especially when you're getting started. And I still use these. I just haven't got around to using a fully customized one. So that's called Hangout Toolbox. This gets a little silly if you want, but Google Effects have all these funny things over here. And of course you can add things and all that sort of stuff if you really want to be crazy. And it sort of follows your head around, see that? And if I had two people here, I could flick that over to someone else's head. And then you can also have things like sound effects too. So you can, if you want to be corny, you can. My sound's low, so I'm great.
That's
That's
great.
So, how many people want to make money? Crickets. Okay.
That's
So-
great.
So there are effects that you can add, and then there's some other apps that you can go and explore. I'm not going to dig in too much, but there's a whole range of other ones that you can actually add as well, and you can have a look at those
Wow.
and what they do. But these are all apps that have been
Thank you.
developed to work in conjunction with this. So, does that give you enough rundown of how that
Yes.
all works?
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to hang up this hangout now. Goodbye, me.
You call.
All right, so what I might do is I might jump on. Jeff? Jeff? We got a question for you. Come on in. Can't answer it from back there.
Come on down.
Terry's asking about cameras and camera quality.
I'll get one.
There you go. Get one. You get a camera.
What I
But
have,
oftentimes the camera, depends on your computer, but oftentimes the camera you can use on your laptop is pretty good.
to me, the biggest problem with Google Hangouts is the reflection of the computer on the face. Because the people's faces are always blue, and their glasses are reflecting, and they're always looking down. So I know that's a user thing, not a camera thing.
Right.
But to me, it's like you know, when you're looking at blue faces and reflections from the glasses, it just doesn't,
Right.
it's not a quality presentation.
Yeah, a lot of it is just pure setup. This is a camera that works on your computer, whether it's a Mac or a PC. Now, there are two different versions for that, but this is a Logitech. Logitech makes a really nice, this is a high definition 1080p, 1080i for broadcasting. So quality is very, very high. It's very inexpensive. This camera right here is less than $100. And it has a pretty long cord on it. You can go down to Radio Shack and get a 10-foot extension. So you don't have to set at your desk. You can actually be moving around or whatever you'd like to do. And the cool thing about this is it has a tilt on there. It has on controls, and you can zoom in, zoom out. You can move right or left even without moving the camera at all. So it gives you a tremendous amount of flexibility. Now,
So you can raise it rather than.
yeah, and some of the things like the notes in there, it talks about some of the tips. Whenever you're videotaping, and this I think is one of the fallacies of what you see here. When you're sitting down, you're looking either up or you're looking down at your computer, giving you a bad look. Ideally, when we set that camera up, we want to set it just slightly above eye level. So almost like just about the brow line. What that does is it takes it from having a little too much chin, okay, all of us, and then raises it up a little bit, and it allows you to almost have a cheerier look. All right, so you're a little bit better. Plus, what happens is when I think Andrew's gotten very good at not doing this, but we tend to look at what we see in the camera to make sure we're in our computer to see what's going on. Personally, that's kind of why I like having the camera away from my laptop. So I'm talking to the camera without talking to the laptop. So I'm not looking down when I'm really speaking to you. You're on the other side of the computer. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The other piece is lighting. Lighting, the best lighting source is going to be your exterior or sunlight. So if you had your computer set up, like as an example, let's say for instance I was going to do a show. I would set my laptop up on that desk at that height, okay? And I would stand, I'd put it just like this, and I would stand right there. So I'm getting that great ambient light, or that great sunlight, good view. And if I have glasses, there's a couple little tricks you can do. Now, none of you wear glasses except me, so maybe, well, Phil has glasses on. You can take them and actually just tilt them just a little bit. And ironically, they don't look goofy on camera, but it takes that reflection off. If we were filming and I had lights, we put the lights up high enough and at an angle that reflection goes away. But when you're sitting in front of your computer, you're doing what we're talking about now, it's best to just have a little tilt there. Okay? Does that help as far as the camera's concerned?
Yeah, huge, yeah.
So those are just the other thing that, and it's in your notes here, and if I'm probably skipping ahead, but take a look at your background. You know, if you've been watching some of these programs, and I've been guilty of it early on, is we shoot something, and all of a sudden we're going, God, you know, I guess I should have put that junk away on my. I watched one yesterday. The content was excellent. But I was so distracted by the fact that he was showing me his counter and his kitchen table, which had yesterday's breakfast on it. I was so distracted by that. Now I'm talking about it, right? It says, hey, wait a minute. Talk about, hey, composition. We're talking. What have we seen? Okay, so turn it on and look at it and say, what do we see? Ooh, that looks really good. Like yesterday, we were going to do one, and it cleared off my desk. I'm like, I really like how my desk looks cleared off. It didn't stay that very long, but for you watching, it's now a nice business office type setting. So take a look at those type of things. The other thing is, and I caught the other day, is when we mic up, you know, make sure you can put the mic in a way that it looks like it's part of your clothing. I noticed the other day, I put it on there, and we have to be very good at talking to one another, but it's sticking way out. It's really a distraction. These little things are what we see on the other side, and we make that first impression. So when we look at this, as an example, Terry, you said you've watched some of these. What kind of things do you look for when that thing turns on, when you start watching somebody?
Well, to me, the blue faces, and it's like the room is all dark in there, and this blue, you know, their face is all illuminated.
Just poor
by the
lighting.
computer.
That's people doing secret hangouts in the dark. What do you want to know? I'm going to tell the world, but no one in my house can know.
Yeah. That's the Snowden effect.
You know, whispering.
That's it. So does that help a little bit?
Yes, it does. Is your lapel mic wired or wireless?
In this case, because I'm not very far away, it's wired. Like if you see back here on this camera on the far left side, stuff hanging down there, that's a 20-foot extension on there. So if I had this camera hooked up there and my laptop were there, I could stand back this far, have great sound, great video, and I could still, at this point, my laptop were there, I could still be looking in the laptop to make sure I look okay without you seeing my eyes looking down because I'm already looking way over there. Does that make sense? So I can give myself some distance. And that's why I like doing what we do here, is we're further away versus have to be right on top of the camera.
Right.
Okay. Does that help?
Thank you.
Very helpful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so what I'll do is I'll just dig into a few case studies that how people are using it. Is that okay for you? So here's 5 ways to use Google Hangouts. Meetings. You allow up to 9 people plus you per chat session, creating a beneficial hosting option for online meetings. So we've done that a number of times. We've been getting a product ready, and we've had 5 of us in a meeting, and we're all across the world for it. So we use Hangouts for our meetings, which is pretty cool. If you've got if you're ever using any outsourcers or virtual assistants and you want to have a meeting with a group of people at once, perfect way to do it is meetings. And you don't have to be across the world. You can be in the same city and just can't be bothered driving, or you can get rained out.
And what's the maximum number of attendees?
Well, on this one here, you can have 10 people inside with the video.
Right, and then watching?
And then people watching, I don't think there is a maximum. I don't think anyone's reached that yet. So it's pretty open. In fact, there is no maximum because you can set up so you can have unlimited people watching it. The more the better. Customer service. This type of service could redefine the traditional help desk and offer a fun new way to help customers. I'll show you an example of who's using that in a minute. Video show. Hangouts on Air feature allows Hangout to host and record the proceedings and automatically publish them to YouTube, as I said. So we do a show as well. I'll show you what that looks like in just a moment. Announcements. Now only 9 people can participate in a Hangout. Many more are able to watch and view the proceedings. This makes a great platform for spreading news to the masses. So if you wanted to announce something big, you can do it through a Hangout. And this is very, very new, and this is called remote access. You have the ability to access your guest's computer remotely. So very effective if you need to help someone with a tech problem and you can't physically visit them. So let's say that you're having some tech problems. We get on a Hangout. I can remote access your desktop, and I can even drive it and say, okay, I'm going to click this button here and move this.
Right.
And it means you don't have to do it. But don't call me because I look pretty good. I did that with someone last week. It was like, I'm remote accessing their desktop and doing this stuff, and it got to a point where it said, enter your password, and I'm like, okay, and I was looking through thinking, which password is it for this account or this account? I'm trying to work it out. And suddenly he's typing on the screen doing all this stuff. I'm like, what are you doing? Don't touch it. Keep the hands away. And then he forgot that he had remote access, and he shut his computer off and went into the other room. I'm like, I'm still here. Come on. All right, let's have a look at these. So Dell computers. Everyone heard of Dell computers, right? So let's have a look at what they do. They host Google Plus Hangouts to cope with support questions. Obviously, being in computers, there's a lot of techie questions, and often they can't be answered in an email. If you had a bunch of if I wrote you a list of things to do for Hangouts, you'd still have questions about it, right? So this is what they do. Not only do those broadcasts answer questions, but they also establish Dell's reputation as a customer-centric brand. Do you think you would tend to shop with Dell if they were able to help you like that? I bet you would. They can set current customers' minds at ease about their purchases. They can secure them as repeat clients. The host actually broadcasts on computing topics, so they do a whole range of educational Hangouts as well. Data backup and cloud computing, everything everyone's excited about. You do want to watch that. And Dell is using video content to inform. It may take the form of addressing a particular client problem or presenting technical concepts. And the company even created a SlideShare presentation that explained how to join a Google Hangout. Because they think that would be important. If you're doing all your customer research, customer service questions on a Hangout and nobody knew how to join a Hangout, you think there'd be a disconnect there? So they've even done that. Cadbury, everybody heard of Cadbury chocolates? So they do a Hangout. This is their Hangout. This is their G+ page where they're telling people to come and join the Hangout. They called it the Tasters Circle Hangout. New members of the Cadbury Taster Group who had to add Cadbury to their Google Plus circles. Now, a circle is just like adding friends, like a Facebook account. Can you see it?
Yeah.
So new members chatted with Cadbury product development manager. They commented on their own chocolate preferences and sampled various Cadbury products live. I'm not sure if they passed samples through the computer to the other person, and if they did, I want some of that technology. I'm not sure how they did that, but that's what they said they were doing. Hangouts are a key feature and a powerful way for letting users have a very direct connection with your brand. Cadbury. This guy here runs a site called Sports Tonight. Now here's an example of that lower third that he created himself. He had his own creator. It's not a standard one, but he had his little logo there, and he wanted to put all sorts of funky stuff there. So you can do that. I mean, you can go and get one of those done on $5. Put your brand in there, make it all funky, so it's not the standard Google thing. So let's have a look what he does. Sports Tonight Live lets the audience discuss sports on his channel, right on their channel. He used Google Hangouts to unite multiple fans, each reporting on individual premiership, this is in the UK, premiership football matches every Saturday. So every Saturday, while the games were going, they had this hangout. So they're all watching the soccer or the football, and then they're all commenting on what's going on. He had 6 fans all reporting at once, meant that they could instantly cut to an update whenever a goal was scored from a fan watching around the world. So not only was it in the UK, but they had European and Australian soccer. They had all these people around the world reporting on what was going on the games at the time. So it was a good way to just connect people who had a similar common interest. This one here is interesting. This is ASOS. I'm not sure what ASOS stands for, but what they did was they did a hangout, and then on the sidebar over here, they used a special plugin that lets people. This is a fashion network, and while people are listening to the hangout, now these are the presenters that are talking about different styles, different fashion pieces. But over here, you could go and shop for those items that they were talking about.
I have a small boutique, women's boutique. So, I mean, this is what I was going to ask you. How can I do this with clothes? But
Right.
I want to do this.
Yeah. So what they did, I know Google created a special app for one of the, I think it was the American Retailers Association, fashion retailers. And there's an app over here that you plug into the side here, and if not, you could do this on your internet as well, and you can embed this video. But people look at this, and then when they click on that, they get taken to a Google Shop. So it's all installed in Google Shop, but then they can go and buy this item that you're talking about. So you're talking about, black shoes, and you're showing them on your Hangout, that sort of stuff, and you can say, don't forget you can buy this right now if you want to. Just click on the black shoes, called whatever they're called, and it gets taken to a Google checkout page. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. Anyone ever seen anything like that? It's pretty cool, eh? Now imagine if that was not fashion, but any of your business, you could do the same sort of thing. So, as long as you sold black shoes, right? Let's have a look at what they did. So they hosted what they called a shop-along hangout. During the live hangout, as well as watching in catch-up mode. Now remember, this is all recorded for you. So when people went back and watched the replay, they could also shop interactively by clicking on the right-hand panel. So not only did they have to be there live, but if they went back and watched it as a replay, they could still buy the stuff, which is good because you want them to be buying stuff, especially if you're on a live hangout telling people to buy something and they can't do it on a replay. So they're able to do that. It's connected to the Google shopping cart. So yeah, so pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
All right, last two. This is a TV show. This is my TV show. We do this every week, and we call it Make It Simple TV. And we invite a guest to come along on the show. So we interview a guest, and what it does is basically lets us connect with other people out there. But we embed this video. We don't send people to our Hangout page. We actually send them to our website. Because Google, if you remember where those links down the bottom, there's an embed link. We use that embed link and stick it on our website. So we have people who come along and watch it on our website. It builds traffic to our website, so people come and watch it on our website. But we can have as many people as we want watching it. Now we don't make this one interactive because this is straight out interview. We do an interview style. But we have it embedded on our website so people can actually come to our site and watch it. And then, there we go, interview style, we film every week, international guests can appear easily. We've got our database from the guests sharing, so they also share it out too. So they'll say, hey, I'm on this, being interviewed on this show this week, and they send it out to their audience, which is audience we don't have connection with. And when they send the link back, it drives traffic to our website. So we're getting new traffic that have never been to our site. Hopefully we pick up a few new people so they can actually come and see what we do.
So, now, how do you link it to your website?
Okay, so when we, when I set up the Hangout live when we were on and the camera was on, and there's some links down here.
Yes.
There was 3 links. One is the YouTube channel, one is the actual Hangout, and then the third one was the embed link.
Oh, the embed, okay.
Yeah, so you just embed it like, have you ever embedded a video or
Yes.
YouTube video?
Mhm.
Same thing. You
Okay.
grab that link and you go to your website and just paste it in. Paste it into your website. So people now can go to your website and watch it. Now, if you don't have that app, that fashion app that we're talking about, you can still embed your Hangout on a page, a shopping page of your website that has those things you're going to talk about in there as a widget or something on your website. Does that make sense? And here's the other cool thing about this one is that not only does it go to YouTube, but we also actually syndicate this out to iTunes as a podcast. So automatically when we do this recording, we send it out to iTunes, because iTunes has a big database of people, right? And you can actually have a video podcast, did you know that? You can have a video podcast.
So Google Hangouts converts it for you and does everything? You don't have to do the
We don't do a thing. We don't do a
audio
thing.
file? No?
No, because this is actually video. This is
Oh.
a video. This is straight out video. We don't have to do anything.
Got it.
It grabs the file, grabs the link, and it posts it on here. And now we have another podcast on iTunes. So we're getting people now visiting us because they're coming across this on iTunes.
And it gives you that option when you're on the Hangouts page, or do you have
No,
the iTunes?
this is something we've done separately. Most people won't have done this, but only because we live and breathe stuff, we know how to do it. In fact, it's really not that. It's not techie at all. It's just a matter of using one specific plugin that grabs the post and sticks it into iTunes.
Got it.
It just gives us another option to get out there and get amongst people. And then last one, GITA, this is the Golf Industry Training Association. This is something that Jeff, Amy and I are doing, but we use this as a membership, deliver membership content. So people who are in our association get access to our page, and they only get access to our page if they've paid for a monthly fee. And then they come along and we do a live hangout for them inside the membership site. So nobody else gets to see it. We mark it private, so when we create the hangout, nobody else sees it. When it goes to YouTube, it's still private, so nobody can search for it. Only people that are paid to be a member of our site gets to watch our hangout. And on the bottom here, I didn't have it here, but down the bottom we have what we call chat roll, which is like the way for people to ask questions inside the hangout as we go. All right. I think, here we go. Using members only service. Members can watch from their cell or their desktop. So you've got your cell. You can, if they're a member and they can't get to their desktop, they can watch it from their phones or their iPads. Do a live Q&A, as I said, and then all of that content is archived as well, so they can actually go back and watch it later. All right, I think that's about it. Are we done? We're right on time. Any questions about Hangouts? Any other questions about Hangouts? Good, bad?
This is very beneficial to see it, to have you demonstrate it.
Good. Good. You think you'll use it?
Oh yeah, now
Yeah.
I will.
You know, here's the thing. Start with somebody. Start with one. Hangout. Just invite one person and just have a play with it. You can't break it.
Yeah.
People try to break Hangouts. They break it themselves. Google breaks it themselves. But have a good. Do you think you could use it for your business?
Oh, yeah, I'm already.
Are you already using it?
Well, I started using it a little bit, but I'm actually transferred over to another video conferencing.
Okay. Cool. Why did you go to the other one? What's the benefit of the other one?
It has the living. Okay, so I actually work with the company, and they have what's known as Living Encrypted Code. It was developed by like the CEO of Intel, Comcast. So it's got a lot of foundational structure, and if you're going to be, I think we'll be hearing a lot more about this company in the
Okay.
future.
Cool. Awesome. All right. Do you think you can use it? Hangouts?
I'm gonna try.
Good? And you good?
Well, not to learn.
Yeah, I would just have to learn how to use it.
Yeah, you know, it's not, as I said, just if you've got a Gmail account or a Google account, you'll have an automatic channel. You can start it straight off. If you've got a Gmail account, you already have a Google Plus account, which gives you the ability to do Hangouts. Invite somebody, a friend of yours, just sit there and have a play with Hangouts. Go and watch some Hangouts too. Go and do a search for Hangouts and just watch some people, watch what they do. Here's the thing about it is that it doesn't have to be a studio. You don't have to have a perfect studio with super perfect lights, because it looks a little fake. If people see that you're real and you're giving great information, then they're going to say, hey, this is great, I'm happy to watch this.
The one thing that you do want to make sure of is that you have really good internet connection.
Yes, yeah, you do want to make sure you've got good internet connection. That's important, otherwise keep dropping off.
And choppy.
All right, Jeff, you're running away. You go? He's gone.
He's out of here.
All right, so a couple of events coming up. Lights, camera, action. Lights, camera. Who's going to bring to the event? This is coming out. There's Jeff and Amy are running this. Lights, camera, action. It's a 2-day event, right, Amy? Yes.
2 days.
2 days. Learn to create compelling video content that drives more traffic and sales. Improve the quality of filming. So if you've ever got questions about your camera work and that sort of stuff, this is a great place to do it. Learn some simple editing techniques to make your videos pop. And learn some publishing tips to increase your exposure and get you noticed. Do you like those words? Good. It's on Saturday, September 20th and the 27th. It goes from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's right here in the Score building. It's a generally small event, so you get some real personalised service from Amy and Jeff. So they're going to walk you through a whole bunch of stuff. That's just the tip of the iceberg. But I know that Holly and a few other people that have been to that event have got some really, really good stuff out of it. So if you're thinking about any video stuff, which I highly encourage you to do because video is going crazy at the moment, then come along to that event, Lights, Camera, Action. You can see Ron, right? I can see you to sign up
You
today.
go on the website and sign up too.
All right.
Just go to scorecb.org and go to workshops and
Well, you can do it here. Can you do it today?
I do it today, yeah.
Great. I'm doing on Facebook for Business. It's a Tuesday night coming up. Basically, learn the latest methods to attract new leads. Find out what works, what work. Come to my English language course. What works and what doesn't. Learn one simple trick to find out your competitors' own clients. This is a cool tool that I actually used. This is pretty powerful what Facebook can give you about your competitors. It's on Tuesday night, 6 to 8. What's it, $25, Ron?
Yes.
$25 that one. Tuesday night, 6 to 8. Bring your laptops. 6 to 8 on Tuesday, the 23rd. So that's 2 Tuesdays from now. And then this Thursday we have internet security with
Gary Williams.
Gary Williams. Great guy. Really interesting. Very well. He used to work for Symantec, which is one of the biggest internet security firms in the world. What things do you need to consider for your internet security? How to secure your workplace, keeping your data safe, handling credit card data. It's on this Thursday, Thursday 11th.
He's also going to talk about protecting yourself, what's going on now with Home Depot and Target and everything else.
Yeah.
That's the latest thing. Home Depot's got a huge breach of their data.
Yeah, big time. Anybody hear about that last week? Yes.
They're saying now it's deeper than they think it is. So
Great.
could go
My
back
mom
for.
actually was one of the people at the local Target. Someone from her bank was actually hacked into it, so they froze everyone's accounts. They could not use their money
Wow.
for a good month because they were trying to like be safe and protect them.
Oh my God.
I think it's a lot bigger than we think it is.
Yeah. So this week we're going to show you how to be protected. Next week we're going to show you how to hack it. So you can get away back. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming. Take some donuts with you.